Now, I mean, I remember, you know, when you came out with the first album, Crush came out, you know, what, and you were thought of as, oh, David, little David, so cute, so innocent, and you do learn, as you said, in a short amount of time, you had to learn, just about how this business works and, you know, how fame works and how to make it on your own, not just on a TV show. Did anything surprise you, maybe that you weren't expecting?
I mean, the whole thing almost feels like it's just been a big surprise. Like, you walk into a room and just like all, you know, the lights are off. And that's what it feels like. It's like the lights are off, you're going inside your house or somewhere, and all of a sudden all the lights just burst open and all this confetti goes and all these people are here. Surprise! That's pretty much how it feels. Just everything at once is just like, boom. Because you don't really expect any of it to happen. You kind of have an idea, and like, I wonder what would it be like, but it's like I wasn't expecting to get as far as I did on American Idol. I wasn't expecting to get signed right as soon as Idol ended, like hours after the show ended. I wasn't expecting to make an album each year, you know, that quickly and go on tour and still have fans. I didn't know how long this whole American Idol thing was going to last, or how long you were going to, you know, what was going to happen as an artist afterwards, and if people were still going to connect to me and still be interested in what I was doing, because I don't, you know, you don't know. It's like, so it's just, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Anything can happen. It could be a tough learning experience. It could be a wonderful learning. I'm sure it'll be both.
Do you ever feel like, oh, you know, because you did say before you're traveling a lot, you're here, you're there, you know.
And everywhere. Sorry, no.
It's a busy business. So do you ever wish like you were just normal teenager at home, hang with your friends, or at college somewhere? Or you feel like...
You know, music's what I've wanted to do. And it's what I've always wanted to kind of... Well, not always, but for a long time it's what I've wanted to do. And it was when I wasn't doing this, it always felt like there was something missing. And so it's like... I was like searching. It's like what I need. I didn't know how I was going to do music, but I knew I needed to have music involved in my life somehow. So I really enjoy doing this. Nothing in life comes free. Or if it's something, I think your true desires, the true desires in your life and that you feel inside, those aren't going to come easy, because the most valuable things and things that are most worth it they come with a more of a cost. It's going to be harder, but that's what kind of makes its value so great, is how hard you worked for it. It's like, I worked so hard for this, and it's, you know, no one can take away the experiences and what you've learned on the journey, you know, on your journey. If everything was just given to you, it's like you don't appreciate it as much. So it's not easy, but it is definitely worth it, and I really do love it. And it's still not gonna be easy, you know. There are gonna be frustrating times, and it's like, oh boy. But you know, if you stick through it, you know, you're not gonna have those regrets of, why didn't I stick to it? Why didn't I keep going? Because when you look back and say, I worked hard for this, I think that's what makes your life more valuable too, or your self-worth more.
If there's anything you could change about this path so far in this business that you've taken, is there anything that you can think of? Maybe, you know, I don't know.
You know,
you would have done differently.
You know, I wouldn't change anything, because even though sometimes it's like, why did I do that? Or why did I take so long to figure this out? Or things like that. there's always a reason why you went through something. And you don't always realize it now. Sometimes it takes years to figure it out. Sometimes it takes a day or two. But there are times where it takes years to realize something. So I don't want to change something that might have been difficult in my past, that might teach me something down the road. Because you never know. So the only thing that I can change is what's going to happen. I guess the only thing I can change is my attitude about what's going to happen or what's going to go on. I think that's the thing that we have most control over, is how the attitude we're going to keep in whatever happens. I mean, we can make decisions too, but I just feel like that's what we have most control over and what we can change the most. And I think that's kind of what will have the biggest impact on other people too, is because people, I think, really pay attention to how you handle things. Sometimes it's not like the millionaire who just has all the nice things and stuff that you learn the most from. Sometimes it's the lady down the street who lives from you, who's a widow, who's just living simple life, or even like the cleaning lady at the building you work at. It's like there's something about the attitude that they're working just as hard as other people. They may not live as glamorous of a life or spotlight, but there's something about them that you feel something and you learn, and it's just to see people who are just happy despite whatever they're doing. Those are people who I learn a lot from, and they don't have to be the most famous person in the world.
Have you had the chance to buy yourself anything special?
Buy myself anything special?
Say a big ticket item.
I don't know. I mean... Like
a car? Or...
No, because we want, like, there's a car that we want on American Idol.
Oh, right.
So...
Do you still have that car?
Yeah. It still works. It's still,
I always wonder if you guys really, use the cars, so good to know.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have bought a car like that by myself. So,
yeah.
I think it's a really good, it's been a good blessing having that car. But, I probably spend the most money on flights to places. But I think what's interesting is a lot of those flights have been going back home when I have a few days off. Because it's like you could just stay home, you could just stay where you are for a couple days. But it's like, wow, but it's helped me value home more and value my family. Because, you always take for granted what you have until you don't have it anymore. It seems like that. So I think I definitely took my family for granted and home and the simple things. And it's amazing how much I love those simple things. Back then, it was just kind of like da-da-da-da-da. And now it's like, wow, those were really special times. And I definitely spend quite a bit of money traveling back and forth to home, but it's worth it. Because it's like, well, I could spend money on all these other things, but what's the most important thing to me? And being able to be with my brothers and sisters while they're growing up. I don't want to be away from them while they're growing and maturing. I want to be a part of their growth in their life. I want to be there for them. I want to help them in any way I can. I don't want to be the brother that was there a little bit and they don't know much about. I don't want to be that. I want to be the brother and say, I want them to be able to feel like my brother was there for me when I grew up, when I was learning and figuring out life, especially because they're kind of going through those teenage years and they're young too. So I want to be there for them just like they're there for me.
That's nice. I'm sure other people are asking you this, but I need to. It's about American Idol and it's about the judges.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure no one asked you that. You're like, wow. That's good.
No.
How do you think it would have been if you had gone through the whole thing and had J-Lo, Steven Tyler, and Randy.
Man.
It's weird to think about, right?
Yeah, I haven't thought of it like that before. I think, man, it would have been different because people are really paying attention to what the judges say. So it'll be interesting to see the kind of technique that Steven Tyler and J-Lo judge with and what their opinions are going to be like, because it really does influence how people look at your performance or look at you as a person, or what people are going to be paying attention to themselves. So I think Simon really had an influence on a lot of people on what to pay attention to in a performer. So it'll be interesting to see what the judges are like. But, I mean, the way people were like, what is Simon going to say, made you feel the same way. It's like, what is he going to say? How am I going to take in what he said and work with it and just kind of find a balance between what the judges are saying and also with what you feel, because you don't always agree, I guess. So it's just finding the right balance between everything. I don't know. Anyway, no, I think it'll be really interesting, but I probably wouldn't. I think it probably would have been really different if. I don't know. I've never had that question asked before. It's like, what would have it been like if you had the different judges there? But I think JLo's really talented. She's very experienced. She's worked hard. She came from, the Bronx, and now she dances and acts and sings, and she's made a really great career for herself. And she's also Hispanic, which I think is awesome, and I think it's great to kind of bring a bit of that into American Idol. And Steven Tyler, he's a legend, Aerosmith, the huge band, so I'm not sure what it's going to be like with him, but we'll see.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Good job.
Thanks. Sorry, I talked.
No.
Without getting
Okay,
to the
new
point.
album in stores tomorrow. Do you mind if we take the photos? Yes. Okay.
Huh?